Hey friend, welcome to my podcast, The Fit Soul. I'm your host, Amy Ramsey. In this podcast, we will be discussing soul-filled strategies to unleash your confidence, increase your energy, and all the things healthy lifestyle. If you're a Christian woman who is ready to reach your God-given potential, walk worthy of your calling with abundant joy and energy, girlfriend, you are in the right spot. I mean, you only have one life to live. You might as well maximize it. Buckle in, and thanks for listening. Welcome back to the Fit Soul podcast. I'm so grateful you're here. And listen, I'm so excited about this topic, this content on this podcast. You're going to love it. Okay, my name is Amy Ramsey. I am a midlife wellness expert. And I have a feeling if you made it to this podcast, you love Jesus, you want to live a life of legacy for God and for your family, and you want to take care of your health. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that you're here. I am a certified health, life, and high performance coach. On this podcast, we talk all about high performance habits that help to move the needle forward in your life for the outcome, so you can live and walk worthy of your calling and live that life that God's calling you to live. And today is a continuation of anti-aging tips, my top 10 anti-aging tips. So if you missed last week's episode, it's episode number 90, and I will for sure put it in the show notes. But I'm going over my top 10 tips. Last week was my 51st birthday, and it really got me to thinking about what are the top 10 anti-aging tips. Now let me just share it with you like this before we even dive into all of these. I know that probably like you've been different places and you find somebody that is your age and they look 10 or 20 years older than you do because they haven't taken care of their health. And then there are women that are doing so much work, adding so many fillers, doing all the things that they don't even look like themselves anymore. So I'm not talking about that. When I talk about anti-aging, I'm not talking about surgery and changing the way that God made your face. But what can we do to age with strength and power? And so last week, I broke down the last 6 tips, 6 through 10. So let me go through those kind of quickly, just as a recap, and then we're going to move on today into the top 5. All right. Number 6, have an attitude of gratitude and joy, evoking that feeling. Number 7, live a purpose-driven life, walking worthy of your calling. This is attached to your purpose, to your identity, to the service that you are, and the legacy that you are leaving. This is so important. Number 8 was do something hard daily with a good attitude. Do something hard daily, every day. And tip number 9 is radically practice personal responsibility. And tip number 10 is cultivate community. Cultivate community. Okay, so let's just jump right into tip number 5. Prioritize sleep. Establishing a consistent sleep schedule, sleep routine, wind down schedule for yourself, calming activities, and aiming to sleep 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night. If weight loss or fat loss is a goal of yours, this is the number 1 tip, is your sleep. It's so important. It's crucial for your overall health, for your overall well-being. It supports your immune function. It enhances your mood. It improves your cognitive function and memory. And in the middle of this midlife and beyond with stress, and also maybe hormonal shifts like hello hot flash can really affect our sleep patterns. I want to give you just a few tips to help you with recommendations for better sleep. And the first one is create a solid bedtime routine. For me personally, I enjoy a hot bath. I actually use a magnesium, what is it called? I can't remember the name of it. It's a magnesium soak, and I put a little bit of that in my bath every night before I go to bed, or I do a little magnesium foot soak. Oh my gosh, that magnesium helps me sleep so good. And that also just helps your body to wind down. A couple other things really quickly here. Limit your screen time. Reduce exposure to your phones. I practice a digital detox. I would love to tell you I practice it every night, but that would be an absolute lie. But it is a goal of mine, a habit that I'm really working on, is putting my phone down, not getting on social media, not scrolling, not checking my emails, all the things right before I go to bed. That blue light is terrible for your brain. It awakens you. It alerts you. When you put your phone in front of your eyes, it just tells your brain, hey, it's middle of the day. It's not time to go to sleep. Okay. Create a comfortable sleep area. Make sure your room is cool. I drop it down to 69 degrees or lower than that. And dark. Keep it very dark. Keep it very quiet. Learn to manage your stress. So maybe a little meditation, a gratitude journal before you go to bed, prayer, some deep breathing to help lower your cortisol levels. And then, of course, limit caffeine and alcohol, okay? So really focusing on that better stress. I like to have my clients, we talk about this in the Walk Worthy Mentorship, is practice that 3-2-1 rule. No food 3 hours before bed. No work 2 hours before bed. No screens 1 hour before bed. Try that for 10 days. Take that as a 10-day challenge and watch how it'll change your life. Okay, so that was number 5. Number 4, now you're going to start to hear more of my health. It wasn't as much health related at the 6 through 10, but you're going to start to hear that coming out. Move it or lose it, baby. Move it or lose it. Exercise daily, 30 minutes a day. Walking and weightlifting are fantastic for us ladies in midlife and beyond. Focusing on at least 10K steps a day. I'll hear people say, oh, okay, well, I'm going to walk 3 to 4 times a week. It's like, walking, I would prefer you focus on how many steps are you getting daily, and then let that be your key to building this more. Because not only is it good for moving your body, but it is good for your mind and for stress reduction. You're going to hear a lot around reducing stress in your life, reducing the cortisol in your life. So walking is magic. I highly recommend it. And your goal is 10,000 steps a day. One of the things you can do, I have my clients do this, because what I hear a lot of the ladies telling me, what a lot of the folks that I work with, or we're getting started. Oh, yeah. I do pretty good with that. It's like, okay, well, let's open up your phone. And I'll tell you this too. So if you don't know how many steps you're getting, or if you're not tracking it with I use an Apple Watch or some sort of a tracking device. I do recommend one. Absolutely. I mean, you can get a cheap little pedometer and stick it on your your shorts or your pants, whatever you're wearing, and it'll keep up with your steps. But what I'll have my clients do is to go into the health history of your phone. And when you pull that up, you can go to your steps. And it's so cool because you can check out how many steps you've had over the last day, over the last week, over the last month, over the last year. It keeps up with it like that. So you're actually able to see, like, over a year, on average, how many steps did you take? Now, that's, of course, assuming you've got a trackable device that's keeping up with it. So if you're just walking and you don't have your phone with you all the time, it's not going to be as accurate for you. And then the other thing for us ladies, is lifting weights, is strength training. So I highly recommend it. We just lose so much muscle, and building muscle, strength training will help you build muscle. So if you're a cardio queen and you're struggling because you're not losing weight and you're frustrated, well, that's probably why you need to shift the way that you're doing your exercise, because what used to work for us doesn't work anymore. So we have to be really mindful about that. All right. So many things. Here's the thing. Whenever I'm doing a challenge I host challenges, 30-day challenges. Next time I do one is going to be in September. You will want to be a part of that. And I'm so excited about it. Those challenges are amazing because we do it with community and we get really focused for 30 days. And it's powerful, actually, how much you can reset your metabolism in midlife in 30 days. And to do it, so many of us are competitive. It's like, I'm going to do this. So I have an app and we use that. But anyway, one of the things that is on that list each day is to exercise for 30 minutes. It can be whatever you want. It seriously can. It could be, but just aim for 30 minutes a day. Aim for 30 minutes a day. A little bit of what it does for you to move daily, to exercise. It enhances your cardiovascular health. It improves your mood. It enhances your cognitive function. That helps your physical activity boost the blood flow to the brain. And it delivers oxygen and essential nutrients for optimal brain function. Super interesting. Studies suggest that regular exercise can improve your memory, your concentration, and overall cognitive abilities, reducing the risk of cognitive decline with age. I saw somewhere or read somewhere, I can't remember right now, I can't recall it, where, in fact, you know what? I remember it was on Shailene Johnson, who I love. It was on her, I believe, Instagram. She talked about walking daily and how that fights dementia. So, for your mental health and cognitive health. All right. For your bone health, weight-bearing activities increases your bone density. Also for your weight management. And also to improve your sleep. And for stress reduction. For all of these reasons, it is important for you to move your body. And listen, this is just the way God made us. God intended us for us to move our bodies and to not be sedentary. And our lifestyles today that's counterintuitive. So keep moving or you're going to lose it. Alrighty, we are moving right along. And real quick, before I go into tip number 3, I want to invite you to my Fit Soul Lifestyle Facebook group. If you're not already a part of that group, you're missing out. I have a lot of resources. If you are a part of that group, go give us a fresh check. I have regrouped the entire guide section. There's a lot of wonderful tools and resources right there in that Facebook group that will help you with your healthy lifestyle. So be sure and join us in there if you're not. And if you are in there, go check out the new guide section. Let me know what you think. I'm excited about it. All right. Tip number 3. We're getting there. Healthy diet lifestyle. I really hate the word diet, but I kind of went back and forth on this one. So healthy nutrition as a lifestyle and staying properly hydrated. I actually had 11 tips instead of 10, so I had to combine these two. Properly hydrated was its own. But anyway, okay. So what I mean by this is, and here's the thing. Before I share with you some of the tips that I'm sharing, I have people all the time that I work with that tell me they eat healthy. However, when I read their food journal, I do wellness coaching. When I read their food journal, it's not healthy. And sometimes you don't know what you don't know, right? And learning how to eat for your body where it is right now is a very personalized approach. So what I'm going to share with you, I just want you to maybe open up your mind. If you think you're such a healthy eater, maybe, just maybe, you might be one of the people that I'm talking about where I read their stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's not healthy. I get it. I used to think that was healthy too, but we know more, we evolve. And so what I want to share with you is more about eating whole foods and reducing processed foods, alcohol, and sugar. Eating and focusing on an anti-inflammatory diet at least 80% of the time. Whole foods 80% of the time. And for me, that means eating at home. When you eat at home, you can control the ingredients, you can control the quality of the food, and you're just going to be healthier and you're going to save a ton of money. And I'll tell you, cooking and learning how to do this is such a process. So if you are not used to this process, give yourself some grace and some time. But this is very, very, very important. And when we think about healthy diet as a lifestyle, it's really about your health span versus your lifespan. We are living too long and dying too soon. And I know you are seeing it in your own life, probably in your own family, and it's hard. It's hard to see that. But science shows us that a diet rich in whole food, it helps to provide essential nutrients that support cellular repair and reduce the risk of chronic disease. Do you know that 95% of diseases, chronic diseases, are lifestyle related? They can be avoided. Did you know that? So reducing processed food, alcohol, and sugar has several benefits. And I just want to talk a little bit about some of this. So we're looking for, here's the deal. I want you looking for nutrient-dense foods. Real foods that God made. They came out of a garden. If it came off a plant, eat it. If it was made in a plant, don't eat it. But when you reduce processed foods, alcohol, and sugar, this is going to help a lot of things. Number one, help with your weight management. In 2019, a study found that individuals who reduced their intake of their processed foods lose an average of 2 pounds more per month compared to those who consume processed foods regularly. This will also help improve your mental health. A high sugar intake has an increased risk of depression and anxiety. Reducing sugar can stabilize and boost your mood and improve your overall well-being. This is interesting. Research published a journal in 2018 that showed that individuals who reduced sugar intake experienced a 20% decrease in the symptoms of depression. I'm going to just take a small little caveat right here. I had a friend ask me recently what medication I'm on. And I'm like, I'm not. What? And she was like, you're not on an antidepressant? I said, no. Are you? She goes, yeah. She goes, you're the only one of my friends that aren't. Now, listen, if you're on an antidepressant, I'm not shaming you or no, I don't mean anything like that. I'm just saying that if you're struggling with your mental health, check out your diet. Check out how you're moving. What can you do to improve it? Okay. By doing this, you're also going to have more energy. I know that this is something that you want. I've done the market research on this for ladies in midlife. Energy is something that was top of list. And energy is something that we generate, but it's something that we cultivate. I know that when I eat like crap, I don't have the energy. And not to mention the inflammation in my body, my older age feels it a lot. It's less forgiving, right? My knees, my elbows, I mean, you name it. I can tell when I have indulged, like over a holiday, I'm always ready to do a detox and to get myself back on track. And when we eat properly, we have a better, healthier digestive health. I will never forget, I was coaching, doing some health coaching with a gastro doctor. I can't remember what they're called. But anyway, this whole idea of unprocessing your diet and eating whole foods was a surprise to her. But this was what was super interesting. I made a believer because she could not believe how her digestive system healed in our work together because she changed and started eating natural foods. Now that says there's so much that we could say about that, and I could go off on a million tangents, right? And she was humble about it. She's like, oh my gosh. And I'm thinking, why weren't you taught this in medical school? Like, wait a minute. But that just goes to show you back to the peel approach, like we just mentioned before. Taking, back in, was it step number 8? Taking personal responsibility. The more you can do to cultivate your healthier life, the more that you move your body the way God meant it to and eat the foods that He meant for you to do. I'm telling you. So it's powerful. It's powerful. So you're gonna also reduce the risk of chronic diseases. I already shared with you how many things are associated, like heart disease, diabetes, liver disease. So this is going to be powerful. So that is my tip number 3. All right, we are moving on. The last 2, I'm down to the last 2. Number 2, this one may surprise you. Number 2 is honor the hard. Honor doing hard things, but embrace delayed gratification as a lifestyle. Get uncomfortable. I can no longer keep this a secret. I have found an incredible, clean skincare line that is changing my skin. I am such a snob. I'm not a big fan of change, but I'll tell you what, I was spending a fortune on my skincare and just not seeing the results that I felt like I should have been seeing for the money I was spending. And then I stumbled across this Korean skincare. I was curious. It's all the rage and it's clean. That means it's not a hormone disruptor. So I started using it. It's changing my skin. It's incredible. People notice, and I'm so excited to share with you. And it's also a fun side hustle. So go to glow.thefitsoul.com to order or learn more about the product, or learn how it could be maybe a side hustle for you. Be comfortable with getting uncomfortable. Practice self-control and self-discipline. There's no sexy way to wrap this up. There's just not. But when we think about this as mastery in these areas and how this is tied to the fruit of the Spirit in Galatians 5:22 and 23. So the whole biblical idea of delayed gratification is linked to godliness, right? But in our society, we're so used to instant gratification. I want food, I can have it in a few minutes and I never have to leave my house. I can touch the phone on my app, an app on my phone. And here's the thing. Keeping a bigger perspective in mind is really important to this. Setting long-term goals, understanding where you want to be, shifting your mindset to honor the hard. And when you are in the process of changing and up-leveling your habits, the process of transformation is absolutely messy. And you'll never get out of the start-stop cycle until you, at some point, embrace the suck. Because when you're changing, while you're changing, your brain is screaming at you to go do what you're used to doing and stay comfortable. Don't get uncomfortable. But that, my friend, is keeping you in your stuck self. Nay, 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 nay. We got to honor the hard. Science even shows us that delayed gratification is linked to better life outcomes for your health, for your wealth, and for your overall well-being. Okay. My number one tip to anti-aging, and I'm going to go back and review these. And now that I've recorded the podcast, I actually kind of regretted starting from 10 and moving my way to 1. I felt like it would have been maybe better to have gone from 1 and to move my way to number 10. regardless, because this is the foundation of everything. All right, so let's go over these one more time. Number 10, cultivate community. Number 9, radically practice personal responsibility. Number 8, do something hard daily with a good attitude. Number 7, live a purpose-driven life and walk worthy of your calling. Number 6, have an attitude of gratitude and joy. Number 5, prioritize sleep. Number 4, move it or lose it. Number 3, healthy diet, lifestyle, and stay properly hydrated. Number 2, honor the hard. And the number 1 anti-aging tip is to trust God. To trust God and to surrender everything to Him. And this is your stress management. This is a surrendered lifestyle. To be faithful. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your path. A surrendered lifestyle and one that trusts God is a confidence that's unshakable. And when you know that God is chasing after you with His goodness and with His love and with His mercy and with His kindness, and that His hope, that hope is an anchor for your soul, this changes everything. It's really even interesting that science shows us, studies show us that faith and spirituality improve mental health, reduce stress, and it promotes longevity. So, my friend, surrender. The foundation of everything is learning to surrender regularly to the God who created you, that loves you, that's jealous for you, who's calling after you, is to surrender to Him with everything in your life. I love that John Eldredge app, Pause, and he has, it's free, it's absolutely free, I highly recommend it. And it's a daily app. I can't get my words out. Okay, it's an app, and it has a practice for benevolent detachment, where you give all of your worries and all of your cares to God because He cares for you. What is that? Is that 1 Peter 4:10? I don't know why that chapter's maybe something like, I know it's in Peter. But surrendering it all to Him regularly. You can't carry all of your burdens alone. You aren't meant to. And when we do this, it helps us to work on our stress, mitigate the stress that we have, manage the stress that we have. And when we do this as a lifestyle, we learn to, we can practice more peace and more joy because we're giving it to God. He's got us. One of the things in my own life that's really helped me with this is to, I've walked through some pretty tough seasons recently, and I wanted to honor God with it. I wanted to be obedient. I wanted to not rely on my own self. I wanted to trust Him more. I wanted to build that as a faith muscle. I wanted to build my faith in Him because I know that that's where my confidence comes from. So one of the things that you can do is to check your physiology. The stress, the anxiety, and the worry. Those are signals that you're carrying it again, and give it back to God. I mean, pray and release. I'm not saying passively pray. I'm like, pray in your authority, stand in your authority. I mean, stay active in the things that are right and righteous, but surrender it to God. Trusting in God has been one of the greatest, this last year, going through so many things that I've gone through. I've also taken some hormone panels and some tests that I have have an umbrella. Like if you're needing some help with your health and some of these things that we're talking about, know that I just look in the show notes and you can figure out how to link up with me. We'll see if we're a good fit for each other. But I have a hormone, a test that I take, and I was able to retest recently, and I've walked through even more grief. And I told the practitioner, I said, it's probably going to be higher just because of what I've walked through. I said, but I know I'm better. And this just makes me emotional because life is so hard. And I want for you too to understand this peace that is available to believers. And it's abiding in Him. It's being with God. Trusting in His character and His faithfulness. And this is a lifestyle. Whew, wow. Okay, so we're going to end on that emotional note there. But I hope this has been beneficial to you. Your health is your wealth, and honor it. Do the things. Stay engaged. Pursue excellence in this area. If you've failed a million times before, today is a new day. Start afresh. You might need some accountability. You might need some help. I can help in these areas. I'll throw my discovery call link in the show notes. You can book a call with me, or you can go on and see some of the different ways that I work with women and clients. I actually do high performance coaching to men too. I know some men listen to this podcast. So that is something that I offer. But you've got this. Do it. Honor the hard. 1% better every single day. And I want to say thank you for being here. I love you so much. And go make it a great day. Girlfriend, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm so honored you come back every week and that you share the Fit Soul podcast with your friends and family. Every time you share my podcast on Instagram or Facebook, I do a little happy dance. Make sure you subscribe to the Fit Soul podcast where you'll never miss an episode. You can go to Podcast, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify and subscribe so you'll never miss an episode release. And just know, I truly love bringing you excellent content and great guests to provide you motivation and faith inspiration to help you walk worthy. And one of the ways you can help me is to go and leave the Fit Soul podcast a review. If you have just a moment, would you please go over and leave a review for the Fit Soul podcast? Thank you again. I love you. And here is your reminder. You are worthy. Until next time. Bye-bye.